Hello and welcome to Blackend versus Blackend, or BVB. This is a series I had in the back of my mind for a bit, where today we're going to be talking about the Blackend of each chapter and compare the performances against each other in Tetro Danganronpa. Now obviously, since Tetro Danganronpa is my new fucking fixation and I need help, please somebody send help, my drugs aren't working anymore, I would like to put a disclaimer. This will spoil the chapters of Tetro Danganronpa, so please watch this video with caution. If you haven't seen Blue and Pink, again, I caution you, do not watch this video. And also, this is not a character study. This is just my review of their acts as the Blackends, and we're also here to have fun. Today's episode is Hitomi Sasaki versus Nao Ono, or the first chapter Blackend of their respective series, Pink and Blue. They will be measured on 4 different metrics, and that's planning, adaptiveness, pressure, and trial. Planning is very simple. It's how well planned out the murder actually was. Adaptiveness is pretty much if something went wrong with the murder, how did they adjust with it, or how well did they hide evidence. Pressure. When they were pressured in the trial, how well did they do to stir suspicion off them? Did they derail suspicion off them? How well were they under pressure? Trial. What I mean by trial is overall, how well did they do during the trial? As in, how well did they derail the conversation? How well did they recontextualize evidence that could have pointed to them? If they were talking during the trial and they were actually trying to get things away from them, how well did they do that? With that being said, I rewatched both trials, and here is the review. Let's talk about our ultimate student council president first. Alright, first off, we have planning. She didn't really plan this kill that well. She kind of just did it, and there was no real plan. Honestly, 1 out of 5, I'm not gonna lie. Which is kind of disappointing, because when I originally, when the original trial came out, I really thought about it, and it felt a little out of character. Not that it was out of character, mind you, because again, she was sleep deprived, but you would assume she would have had like a more elaborate plan, but nope. It was just like that. Sleep deprived, beat the shit out of Asano. Yeah, 1 out of 5 for planning. Adaptiveness, however, is a 4 out of 5 for me. She hid her evidence pretty well, and almost nothing was pointed to her specifically. However, when hiding the evidence, Yanagi did see her, but let's be honest, she knew for a fact bro was not gonna talk, and he almost didn't talk at all for the trial. Pressure is also a 4 out of 5. She did really well when pressure was put on her. The first time pressure was put on her, she actually deflected it really well, and the second time, she didn't really deflect it, but the conversation just kind of passed on off from her. The third time she was pressured, she didn't really deflect any of Hiroki's points before or after his recap, and then she just began to start crying and break down. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for me, mainly because of the deflection on the first one, but the other 2 did bring down her score a bit. And lastly, trial. She had really good control over the trial. Of course, other people were leading the trial as well in conversation, but it did steer a bit of pressure off of her for a while. She also kept the trial organized. Again, it helped getting some suspicion off of her. Also, when Tamba brought up the poison, she packed her up knowing it would sidetrack the conversation. Another thing is that when Okazaki was getting pressed, she added a tidbit of, was that why the fridge was pulled out? Trying to recontextualize evidence to mean something else. Not only that, but when pressure was put on Kamimura, she added onto it. Also, her using Tamba as proof of her alibi was really good. She also put pressure on Yanagi once they realized the weapon was a pan. Honestly, her in the trial, when it came to derailing conversation or recontextualizing evidence, this is the first time I'm going to do this, but a 5 out of 5 for me. I honestly do not know how she could have done better. Well, she did pretty good, a 70%. Now let's get into her contestant. Before we get into Ono, are you drooling while watching me? If that's the case, then tell me what you're drawing in the comments. Also, drink some water, regardless, because I know you haven't been doing that. Now, let's get into Nao Ono. Planning. It's implied that Ono's been planning this for 2 days, and there was no real physical evidence against her. The only issue is that Ikeda saw her, so I'd give her planning a 4 out of 5. It was literally almost perfect. Adaptiveness is also going to be a 4 out of 5. She did adapt pretty well. There were only 2 pieces of evidence against her, which originally was going to get her a 3 out of 5. However, the first chance she got of taking care of Ikeda, she did, by using the voter game to make him shut up and make him uncooperative. And technically speaking, Ikeda didn't say anything about it being her until after the final recap of the discussion. Pressure. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to all of the, qualifiers, this one was not the best. The first time pressure was put on her, her defense was just, I didn't know it was missing, and then somebody else derailed the pressure to be on Kumada. Mind you, when it came back to her, everybody else derailed it again to go back to Kumada. So it wasn't even the fact that she, in her defense, derailed the conversation. The conversation just naturally derailed itself. The second time pressure was put on her, again, her only defense was, I didn't do anything. And her second defense was, your evidence is circumstantial. Not only that, but all the other defenses she put up were broken down really quickly and easily. Also, her freaking out after the final recap did not help. I hate to say it, but 1 out of 5. The pressure when put on her, she did not do well. Next up is trial. She didn't necessarily derail any of the conversations in the trial. To be fair, she didn't have to, since Ikeda wouldn't help at all. And no offense, not everybody in this trial was being smart at all. She added on to the robot argument, however, but besides that, when it comes to her contributing into the conversation, it didn't necessarily derail any evidence off her. If anything, a lot of what she said kind of added stuff onto her, weirdly enough. So overall, just a 2 out of 5 for trial. With all that said and done, Ono got an overall score of 55%, doing pretty okay. With that, we have our winner, Miss Sasaki, for the first Blackend versus Blackend. Again, her only real issues was planning, and even then, she didn't necessarily do terrible. It just wasn't really that well planned out. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode, I guess, of Blackend versus Blackend. If you guys liked it, please like, subscribe, hype up the video, or just comment. I am really excited to do this for future chapters. So, yeah, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.
It's my happy day, I want to sing it all the day. My best friends are always with me. We sing, we dance, we laugh, we are happy every day. Have fun with us, let's say happy, 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 happy.